And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition, another day here of the WardiTV February 2025 Group A. I'm of course your ZvP with you and joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different and something a little bit special here. Again, shout out to Wardi, of course, for hosting and for running and for casting this event, the WardiTV February, I mean. But Group A had a little bit of a hiccup. Group A, it was unfortunately disrupted and it didn't quite complete, it didn't conclude as SHIN was unavailable. So here coming into Group A, we have a plethora of players. It is a round robin group. We have Creator, SHIN, Björn, alongside Clem and Geralt as well. So we have some amazing players here. But again, SHIN, he wasn't available. He was not available. He could not complete, or he could not actually play out his matches at the time. And Wardi had to make a decision here. Do we force a forfeit, or do we allow him to play out later on? And of course, he was allowed to play his matches at a more convenient time, and we're here with those matches. Oh my god. We are here with those matches. Again, of course, shout out to Wardi. He reached out. He was like, Pappy, I need someone to cast, and I know what you do. It's like, we cast all the time. Let's go. That's all we do, Pappy. That's all we do. So, of course, we did make some room. We did make some time, and we are here to cast for you here and now. Beautiful. We do have 4 best of 3s. 4 best of 3s ready for you. Let me just switch our teams over, and bam, we can have a look at the matches ahead of us. Here we go. We have our 4 matches: SHIN versus Creator, SHIN versus Björn, SHIN versus Clem, and SHIN versus Geralt. SHIN versus everyone. Basically, all of SHIN's matches here in Group A are going to be played out here tonight against every other player in the group, as this is a round-robin group stage. Again, because of that fact, a lot of this will determine who makes it out and who doesn't out of Group A into the playoff bracket. All the other groups have been played out already. Group B, C, and D, and the playoffs are in a couple of days. When I said a couple of days, tomorrow. So the playoffs are tomorrow. So we did have a very small window in time where we had to jump in and step in and have the broadcast. So here we are again. The playoffs are tomorrow. Wardi will be handling the rest of the events, the playoffs, the quarterfinals, semis, and the grand finals thereafter. He's got you covered over on his channel. Until then, we're here to at least wrap up that group stage here and now, ready for you. Let's go. When it comes to greater context for how the group is currently looking, and we'll be going over this, I guess, briefly now and also at the end of the group to find out, to determine who does advance on out of Group A. Need un momento. Beautiful. Bam, here we go. So we have our Wikipedia page, !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. You can see here we have our group of 5. Top 3 will advance on, and bottom 2 will be eliminated from the group. Of course, SHIN has still played 0 games and 0 matches, so SHIN is still a little bit in flux as to whether or not he will advance on or not. Clem has yet to be defeated so far with a 3-0 scoreline, has dropped maps, don't get me wrong, but has not dropped a series yet. Creator has had a bit of a rougher time here in the group stage, so things are looking a little bit bleaker here when it comes to whether or not Creator can advance on. Likewise, Björn and Geralt are more further in the center of the pack here, and again, we'll see how SHIN can kind of settle down. We'll see if he can make it out. We'll see if he doesn't. We'll see if he can knock some of these players out of the group or not. We're here to determine. Again, the rest of the group stage has already concluded, getting to the playoffs, of course, tomorrow. So here we go. We have our matches. We have our series. And up first, we have Creator versus SHIN in a ZvP. Let's go. Let us go. Yeah, well, soon, Wardi. Yes, Wardi, he was unavailable to cover today, so that's why we stepped in. And again, Wardi should have you, he should have you guys ready tomorrow for the playoff bracket. Should have you sorted when it comes to those matches, when it comes to the playoffs. He's got you, Bob. He's got you. Just make sure he's well rested for the big finale of this tournament. Until then, game 1, Frostline. Let's jump in. Let us jump in. Yo, Esther Dash in the chat, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Also, before I get ahead of myself, big shout out to Boo Boo Kitty Foo. Hello. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for subscribing. We do appreciate the support. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we are jumping into our first series of the night and spawning at the right hand corner of Frostline. We have our blue Zerg player. We have our South Korean Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Green Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless. And currently at the bottom of the standings, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can redeem himself. It is a Creator. And you know what time it is? It is a Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you can get your Gamba going. Let's go. Let us go. As now we are going to be settling into our standard openers. Welcome one and all to our Frostline. Frostline is one of the larger maps in the map pool. I say larger maps, that is true, but at the same time, the bases are very difficult to defend. One of the big features here of Frostline is the third and fourth bases are very open. They're very large, very wide open, very vulnerable here to aggression, to attacks. You can get a very nice arc as the aggressing player, and it can be very difficult to defend these locations. We've seen many a Protoss player try, attempt, and fail to defend these locations and being torn apart by 3 and 4 base Zerg aggression. So coming into this, I'm curious how Creator will approach this matchup. Creator, he is more than willing, more than happy to open up aggressively himself and try to turn the tables on the Zerg opponents. So we'll keep an eye on his openers. He is not afraid to open Twilight Council if need be. We'll keep an eye on Creator. Until then, Hatch Gas Pool, Standard Opener, Gate Expand, likewise as well from Creator. Nothing crazy for the time being. As we're settling into this, a big shout out once again to Kenk QD. TQD. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to the community. Thank you so much, and I hope Zero Tolerance does appreciate the gifted sub as well. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Again, for those that do receive subs in the chat, you don't just get emotes, you also get replay packs in our Discord. So if you do join our Discord server, we do have a sub-only channel, and you can redeem replay, so you can attain replay packs from events that we have permission to share. An event like this, we do not have permission, by the way, not for this, but we do have permission for other events like OOC tournaments, Little League Cups, alongside other events as well. So plenty of replays are available if you're interested in that sort of thing. Otherwise, we spoke about it, Twilight Council opener. We mentioned how Creator, he's not afraid to open up aggressively, instead to turn the tables on the Zerg player. There it is, Twilight Council from our Protoss. The question becomes, do we pull out a gas? Do we pull out? If we do, this should be 4-gate glaives. Otherwise, this could be a DT-based opener instead. We have been casting a lot of Creator in recent times, especially in our own tournaments, and he has been willing to embrace both. He has embraced both already. What does he go for? So far, he's staying in. Looks like Dark Templar. They have the Robo, extra gateways. Behind the Shin. Oh, never mind. Okay, it does pull out. There you go. Glaive Adepts does pull out. It's going to be 4 and 4. Again, excess workers here is not required, as you will have an influx or you'd have too much gas, so it is inefficient. So Elasti does pull out, and we have 4 Gate Glaive Adepts. Okay, now this is not all in. Bear that in mind. This is not all in. This is not going to be too much of a committed style. I mean, damage does need to be done, don't get me wrong, but from here you can transition, you can expand, you can take a third base. So our eyes are on Creator. Really, our eyes are on Shin. Shin, he still has to confirm. He does dip in, but now is denied entry into the natural. Has an Overlord outside of the main base. Has an Overlord here outside of the natural as well. With this, he should get eyes on the move out, and back at home, he's playing it safe. We do have a Roach Warren. There's a sub 4-minute, very early Roach Warren here by Shin. So Shin being very careful, very safe, very secure, and he should be ready for what's to come. Ooh, that's more gateways. He pulls back in. Yeah, he does pull back in. So basically, 4-gate glaives is the go-to. If you pull back in, that means you have excess gas. That means you have excess resources for extra gateways. Suddenly, what I mentioned before about how 4-gate glaives is not too committed, this is borderline 2-base all in. As we are getting up to 5 gates so far. 4 in the main. 6 gates even, yeah. So 4 in the main base, 2 at the natural. So it's going to be a 2-base, 6-gate Glaive Adepts. This is much more committed. This is much more aggressive. And here comes Creator. He's moving out, and he can soon warp in 6 Adepts at a time. Now, Shin has to be careful to over-drone for the time being. We have Spine Crawlers on the way. Spine Crawler here at the third base. We have a Spine Crawler in the natural as well. Adepts a threat in the shade. So far, Roaches are building up. We'll see if Shin can keep up here. He is going to be lacking SimCity, so he won't be able to wall off. Can he hold? Can he survive? And it's going to be all or nothing for Creator. As those extra depths means no expansion. No expansion, no third base. A later transition out of this as well. As he's holding on to the Adepts for the time being. So far, he's got how many? 17! 17 Adepts for Creator. Rotating over. Oh. Does rotate. SHIN, he is squeezing out a couple of drones. Only a couple, thankfully. You can see he's getting Spore Crawlers. This is just in case. It's 4 Gate Glaives plus Dark Templar. That is not uncommon. We know it's 6, so the Spores are a little bit of a waste. They're not going to come into play. Edison moving in. Up to how many? Up to 26! Oh my god. 26 steps. They can 2-shot Roaches. Did I say 2-shot? They can 1-shot Roaches. Oh my god. They just dive in. They get a full surround. Roaches are going down. And SHIN, can he hold on? Oh my god, Prism almost does fall, but they'll survive. Yeah, Prism backs off. The Queens are getting picked off as well. Adepts straight into the main. The drones are exposed. Yeah, Worker's going to be going down. Queens as well. So far, economic damage finally being done. And SHIN, there's no escaping from this. Yeah, the drones, they are locked down. Oh, going to be shading back. Shading out. Adepts here into the third base. Another 11 drone kills. Up to 12, not bad. Yeah, and with that, Creator takes an economic lead. But he's not done. He's not done. Not yet. Now down to 17 Adepts. And behind this, Immortals. Immortals are now on the way. Dark Shrine alongside it. What do we see here? Immortal, Dark Shrine, no third. No third here. We're still doubling down on 2 bases. We're still not expanding. SHIN, he's not out of this yet. Again, he took a lot of economic losses already. Oh no! Oh my god. File connects, but not enough. Not good enough here. And even without the Immortals, even without the Dark Templar, I'll be honest, I think the Mass Adept might just be too much. As there isn't really much of an army left, only a handful of Roaches. SHIN does take a bow to the face. Does hard down some of those Roaches. Likewise, we do see another warp into the main with the Vials. Oh my god, finally the Prism goes down. Whew. Prism does fall. And that's making their way towards that mineral line. SHIN once again gonna bleed out a couple of workers. Yeah, 3 drones going down in an instant. He does back off. Behind the SHIN down to 30 workers, 30 drones. He's forced to redrone, forced to resaturate. Is keeping up with the Adepts. And here comes the third for Creator. Now, this is a very late third base. Very late third base. Again, because of the 6 gate, because of how aggressive we've been, because of how committed Creator has been. Because of that, he doesn't have the biggest lead he would otherwise like. Does a lot of damage, that is true, but he reveals his Dark Templar. It does reveal it. Now SHIN knows. Again, this I'm not so certain about for Creator, so now SHIN, there's no surprise factor. He already had Spores anyway. Spore at that natural, and here between the bases and at the third base. He's ready for the Dark Templar. Now droning up. And now we're calming things down, at least for a little bit. Where do we go from here? So, SHIN is trying to recover. He's going into Lingbane Roach Ravager. So Lingbane Roach Ravager Baliness is on the way now as we speak. Will be ideal against the Adepts and really most things gateway based. Less so Stalker and Immortal, but against the Adepts they're going to be ideal. So Balings will help support. Likewise, we do see Creator is taking an extra gas geyser, so he's taking gases, he's saturating his third base, taking another gas geyser as well. He is macroing up. He is macroing up from here. And the big sign, the big tell, is that there is no War Prism. There is no Prism. Without a Prism, we shouldn't be moving out. So Creator, he's stuck at home. He's stuck at home for the near future. We can see a Bay on the way, which tells us that there still wouldn't be a War Prism. We're getting into Colossus production, into Disruptors. Creator, he's turtling. He's turtling up. This is allowing SHIN to drone up, to recover, to get more bases, and to macro out of this. Now he's embracing all of his upgrades. Tech-wise, I do favor Creator in this position. He's walling up, he's walling up, he's getting to splash damage. +1. Again, upgrades just now beginning here for SHIN, which all were heavily delayed because of the aggression. Is keeping up. Creator likewise pushing towards the top side. He has eyes on any would-be fourth. Is being taken though towards the south instead. So SHIN is taking his fourth base. Creator pulling back. There it is. Colossus production has begun. A second Robo's on the way. And this is where SHIN needs to be a little bit greedy here. Yes, he is expanding, that is true, but he's not really teching up. I'm referring to a hive. Right now we have a hydrogen on the way. There we go. Now we get the infestation pits. Now working towards the hive tech, but is it too late? So there's going to be a window here where Creator, he might be able to break through before Vipers arrive. And Vipers are going to be necessary here for SHIN to hold on. He will need those Vipers. And we are back. Oh my god. Hopefully everything's okay. As, again, the Twitch server did go down. We did switch actually to a different server, so hopefully everything's okay. For the time being, we do see Creator, he does push you right through the center. Lurkers are going to be ready. No Vipers, by the way. Hive is not done. These are Lair-Tech Lurkers. Yeah, Lair-Tech Lurkers instead. Oh, zoning back the army. But again, that is how many? That was 4 Colossus. Jeez, at the same time, SHIN goes for a massive counterattack. It does get into natural. We're going for the base trade. Natural Waste is going to be going down. SHIN, can he hold on with those Lurkers? Does have the high ground. Not much support though. The Lurkers, yeah, they're vulnerable. They're going to be going down one after the other. Lurkers will fall. At the same time, is breaking through. Busting into the main base, busting into the natural. Units are going down. Creator making his way into that expansion. And the DT! Okay, here's detection. DTs are defending, but we have detection. Detection has arrived. But alas, that's still how many? That's still 4 Colossus. And the Lurkers, they do nothing. Lurkers, they just melt before the might of the Colossus. The Colossus, they go down. Sorry, the Lurkers go down one after the other. Colossus, they break through the 3rd base. And the base trade is the only way for SHIN to win this. It's the only way. And even then, I'm not too convinced. Yeah, there's a couple of Lurkers in the back line. Tech is falling. Rocheworn as well. Creator forcing his way into that expansion. And again, Creator, he can always recall. He can always recall back home if need be. His army is still looking very solid, very stable. More so than the Twitch servers. Smoge. As lasers, they pop off, the Natural's gonna fall. There's still 2 Lurkers left, but GG gets called. And Creator, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Creator. He will take a lead in the series. I do apologize for the stream going down, but it does look like one of the Twitch servers is just dying on us. So we did switch over. Basically, we were connected to Japan. Now we did switch over to the Sydney server instead. Hopefully, everything should be fine. Hopefully, everything should be stable. If it goes down again, we'll just switch to another server. That feels bad, man. So, yeah, unfortunately, a little bit out of our control. But regardless, GG. GG will play. Creator does take a lead in the series. And now we are getting ready for game number 2. Ready for that second game. For those that maybe missed out on the interim, basically what had happened was we were talking about this kind of period in time before Hive Tech and before Vipers. It was of my opinion that SHIN, his Hive was late, his infestation was late as well. Because of that, he had nothing to deal with those Colossus. He did morph in, I want to say 9 Lair-Tech Lurkers, but again, without range and without any maneuverability, they couldn't really hold their own. Instead, went for the base trade, and last did go the way of Creator. He had a massive army, just rolled over SHIN. GG. GG well played. That leads us into game number 2. Let's go. Into game 2. Catching up in the chat. You're spawning in the top, also in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg currently down in the series, and we'll see if he can bounce back. Representing Gaiman Gladiators from South Korea, it is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom, or in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, also from South Korea, leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. We go. Whew. And again, Creator, in the end, the amount of damage he had dealt was more than good enough. He was able to cripple the economy here of SHIN and himself stabilize on a 3-base economy, build up into Colossus and snowball out of control from there. SHIN just wasn't able to sustain himself, wasn't able to keep up with his opponents, and in the end, did fall to Creator. And again, this is the win that Creator does need. Remember, as a reminder, Creator, he has had a pretty rough time so far in the group stage, has yet to take a win so far. We'll see if that changes here and now. As we load into Whispers of Gold. Once again, Whispers of Gold is going to be a much smaller map. It is a rush map, very aggressive in nature, has very exposed 3rd bases and 4th bases, short rush distance by ground. Does favor aggression. We saw Creator pop off last game with 6 Cake Lavered Eps. We could see something similar here as well. could see something similar. As so far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of SHIN. That was good for standard opener. Likewise, Creator setting up back at home. And our eyes are going to be on Creator here for his tech of choice. Already he has shown us to be hyper aggressive. Oh, that's crazy. Wait, what? User stream is still on? What? That's insane. It's impressive. Okay. Now, for those that are curious, we're dual streaming to YouTube as well, and the YouTube stream, it's fine. It's just there. It's just okay. Never mind. Though we need like a new URL or something. No, it's all good. As we're settling it. So far, it's going to be Stargate. Stargate opener out of Creator, not Twilight Council, not this time, so we're going for the Stargate instead. Getting into an Oracle-based opener, into something more standard, more economic. And this is where SHIN will have the opportunity to bounce back. Where he will have a much more comfortable early game, won't have to worry about dealing with all these adepts, with all the shades. SHIN, he can and will maintain himself. Does zone the adept away. Is Oracle first, not a Void Ray. Again, Oracle openers are the go-to just because they keep you quite safe. They're amazing at scouting across the map, dealing economic damage, keeping the third base safe against Ling counterattacks and Ling run-by, stasis traps as well. They're just a really important and critical supportive unit nowadays in the meta of ZvP, as they hold so much more value into the mid and even into late game as well. They are the go-to. From here, zoning back that Overlord, taking a third base. And we'll see where Creator goes from here. He can throw down an earlier Twilight Council, which I would recommend on Whispers of Gold. Yep, speaking of, there it is. Early Twilight Council here from Creator. This is a Twilight Council without a Forge. Bear that in mind. This is going to be much earlier. This could be one of two things. Either Stargate Opener into Glaive Adepts or Stargate Opener into early Blink. Now, early Blink would be more... I was going to say defensive. It's a bit of a safe way to approach this, as it does keep you safe against an all-in. If SHIN was going for like a 2.5 base all-in, the Blink would be done in time, and you can actually make use of that in defensively to protect your third base. Glaives would be more aggressive, though, to get across the map and try to catch your opponent off guard. To catch SHIN droning. As the Adepts, they do get one drone so far. They dip in between the bases. There it is, Glaives. Glaive Adepts here from Creator. So he's going to be the aggressor, and the goal here, and my biggest concern, if SHIN skips Roaches. If he skips Roaches, he is plus on melees on the way. This is a sign of Ling Hydra. If he skips Roaches, if he skips Meilings, then he might just fall here and now. Checking his vision, though. Did see. Okay, he saw the gateways, he saw the Twilight Council, saw it researching, he saw the lack of Forge. He should be aware we need a Bailey Nest or a Roach Warren. Either one. There we go. Roach Warren is on the way. He needs one or the other. Thankfully. Again, if it wasn't for that scout, he most likely would have just skipped the Roach one entirely and would have just died then and there. Roaches are on the horizon, but the Roach one is only halfway done. And Adepts, they're building up. Adepts are building up back at home. Now, this is less committed compared to the previous game. This is designed to get economic damage, that is true, but behind this, Creator can get into his own Immortal production. He can get into his own Blink, into Forge, +1. And here we go. The Adepts are moving out. It's going to be how many? 15. 15 Adepts for Creator. Roaches have just now begun. 7 Roaches from SHIN. He's making his way into that third. SHIN immediately he evacuates, but his attempts to. Drones are going down for 5 workers already. SHIN, he does have SimCity. Does wall up at the natural. Is walling up. Roaches, though, Oh, almost baited in, and they will get baited. Half the roaches, they get stasis. Adepts, they can engage. Shin, he's in a bit of trouble here. He's got Mass Link though. Comes in for the surround, and that's what the Oracles are for. Yeah, pulse being gets activated. Lings, they just melt. Oh my god. Yeah, they evaporate. And the Creator, has he done it? He's so close to breaking his opponent's stasis though, is running out. Shin, he's holding on. He's holding on behind this. Creator is taking up. Immortal production has begun. Forge, Temple Archives, +1. Archon production is working on the next step. Oh. As he picks off another Roach. Nurse Spore. Nurse Spore in position. 5 more drone kills. 6 more drone kills. And with that Roach speed, Shin, he can't counterattack. He's stuck at home. He's still stuck at home. Roach speed, not even halfway done. Is stuck defending. Now working towards the Bailey Nest. Based off of all the economic damage done here, he's down to 59 workers. He is droning. He is droning up. Not going all in. Not yet. But Creator has done well. Like, I mean, he still maintained the Adepts. That's crazy. Oh my god. So that's 19. You just keep Shin pinned at home. Behind this, building up more Immortals. Storm has begun. He's setting up for the counterattack. A cannon, shield batteries. Creator reading this well. As Shin, he only drawn up 264. Only 3 base saturation. He is not saturating his 4th. The 4th base is staying undersaturated. As Shin, he intends to go all in. And based on the damage he's sustained, this makes sense. Does make sense. Bane's morphing in as well. Okay, we have a Baneling run by the right hand side. We're a Ravager on the left. Storm is done. We'll see how well Creator can react to this. Shin is moving forward. Forward does distract. Baneling's about to waddle in. Oof, nice Wiles. Wiles, they do connect. The Banelings have yet to commit here. Still biding the time. Still building on more Ling Bane. And I'm not entirely convinced by this army here. I mean, it's all that Shin has to work with. But as long as Creator maintains a defensive position, I'm not so sure. Adepts are getting called out, so not bad. Bailey's there. Oh! Doesn't quite crash in. Creator, he does shade away. Storms are ready. First Storm will zone. But Creator, he's cut off from his own 4th. See Shin coming in from multiple angles. Limited force field, and here comes the surround. He crashes in. Storms are looking good, but is there enough? As they break through the Adepts, they get on top of the... Oh no! The High Templar! The High Templar go down, no more Storms. And Shin, he does it. He breaks the 3rd. Breaks through the army. There's barely anything left. So we have some more Storms coming in. But the mineral line is exposed. Probes are going down. At the same time, Creator, he does warp in across the map. But the 3rd base is going to be forfeit. 18, 19, 20 probes falling. And he does snipe the High Templar. High Templar goes down. Across the map, Zelta being cleaned up. There's some counter damage, but not enough. Not enough here. And Shin, he has broken Creator. Sniped the 4th. Crippled the economy. Creator, he lost so many High Templar. That was 6 High Templar going down. And despite the strong starts, Creator, I just did not have enough here at him to defend. Whether it was stasis traps, force fields, sentries, more static defense, potentially just not expecting the flank on the left-hand side. And with that, Shin is gearing up for wave number 2. He's gearing up for wave 2 here. And this time, Creator is going to have even less to defend. He had 6 High Templar initially, now he's down to 4. for High Templar, barely any adepts remaining. Oracle's doing what it can. But Creator, he just cannot expand. And moving in between the bases. This time Creator, he's set up for the flank. Is set up in SHIN. He doesn't quite commit here. He backs up and he takes up. Invitation bit. Invitation bit's on the way. Now he's joining up. At least trying to. And he's building up towards Hive Tech. Towards Hive, potentially Lurkers. Potentially Ultras as well. I'm curious. I mean, he has +2 melee, so Ultras would make sense given this position. Oh my god, he snipes the Prism. Not bad. That'll snipe the War Prism. It is done. Now we can work towards Hive. And Shinny should be engaging. He's maxed out. Nice Storms. Well, they shut down some of the Bane. But there's still so much more behind this. He gets over the base. That's going to be a kill, not a cancel. High Templar gets surrounded. And we have a second army here pushing towards that natural. Oh my god. Shin, he does take the storms to the face, which isn't pretty. But he can afford these trades. He can still afford these trades. He pulls away from the natural. Hydrogen's on the way, plus on range. Tells us most likely into Lurker tech. As Creator, he does counterattack. I mean, he's all in at this point. He has no expansion. The 4th bases are being denied time and time again. It's all or nothing for Creator. And Lings, they come in for the surround. And they will clean this up. Yeah, there's not enough left. GG gets called, and Shinny ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Creator being hyper aggressive this series. Remember, game 1 he went 6k Glaive Adepts. Here in game 2 he went Stargate Opener into Glaives as well, but the maps did facilitate for that. You know, the maps, they're more aggressive. Frostline, Whistles of Gold, they do favor that kind of style. What happens here on our next map? We're going to be loading into Amygdala, one of the larger maps, one of the more macro maps in the map pool. I'm sure we'll see something different this time from Creator. Let's go. Are loading in. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the blue Zurich player from South Korea representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. Forced into a tied-up series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Creator. South Korea. Is Wardi sick? For those that are curious, I believe Wardi has been a little bit under the weather in recent days, so I believe Wardi is resting up and getting ready for the playoffs. Again, Wardi should be returning tomorrow with the finale of this event, with the playoffs of the WardiTV February. That should be the case. Yeah, shout out to Wardi. He was kind enough to reach out to ask us to step in for at least this group stage cast. Obviously, more than happy to, as always. And we're always casting. We already had a schedule, an event scheduled to cast here. We're going to cast anyway. May as well jump in. Do some WardiTV February as well. That's going to be cast every day here on the channel. We actually have another cast in a couple of hours. We're going to be going over the OSC King of the Hill. That's going to be in around 3 hours time. So we have another event, which we'll be jumping into right after this cast, as that'll be our third cast of the day. So all the casting, Pappy, all the casting. Let's go. As earlier today we were live with the OSC Season 12 Championship. The championship. Always have to step in when need be. Fun fact, as we're settling in so far, Hatch Gas Pool, Standard Opener, Unnatural, Natural out of SHIN, Creator likewise Standard Opener as well. But because of the most recent announcements for Twitch, and because we've had to go in and delete a bunch of VODs and delete a bunch of content from the Twitch channel, it was definitely a lot of nostalgia going through a lot of older events. And fun fact, one of the first big events that we casted as well, I was going through like IEM Canavise 2020, I was going through Copa America, but back in 2020, we actually did cast, at the time, Wardi, he hosted an event called the We Sold Out Tournament. I think that was back in 2020, and we covered the group stage of that as well. I was like, oh, I remember this, like, good times. And he had us on as the B stream for the playoffs of that event as well. Long time ago. It's been very bittersweet going through all the old VODs and deleting everything one by one, remembering past events. Very bittersweet. Shout out to Wardi. Shout out to Wardi. So now we have our Stargate opener once again here from Creator, 2 games in a row. Into Oracle, into a third base. Like a 24/7. Ah, pretty much. Ah, no. But last game, of course, we had an Oracle opener into a faster Twilight Council, so we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing once again here coming into game number 3. I should also emphasize, welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defendable as well. The reason for this is because the attack paths are very limited here on Amygdala. Basically, you have this southern attack path and the northern attack path, at least in the early game. Once the rocks get knocked down, the map does open up, but that's typically in a later game state, when you already have a 4-base economy up and running. Likewise, each attack path is covered by Zelnaga, so control the Zelnaga means you see everything coming your way. And once again, early Twilight Council. Oh boy, so this is going to be a Twilight Council and a Forge alongside it. Okay, a much more standard follow-up. This was later than the previous one. This was a couple of seconds later than the previous game. Should be +1 in Blink, but we'll keep an eye on Creator. For the first time this series, this might not be Glaives. Let's go, or it shouldn't be Glaives. As Glaive Adepts, they do no benefit here from +1. We have a very different kind of setup here from Creator. Much more standard, much more macro-oriented. There it is, +1 in Blink. Overlord does confirm. Overlord gets eyes on the Forge. That is a tell that this is not Glaives, and this is a tell that Shin can drone. So Shin, he is free to drone up, saturate to skip his Roach Warren if need be, and to go into Ling Hydra. +1 melee is on the way. If you recall, last game we did see +1 melee also being prioritized, and I was referring to how this should be a sign that we are delaying or skipping roaches. I'm going to stand by that here. Last game he scouted the Adepts, so he threw down the Roach Warren. Here, there's not as much need to do so. Things are keeping up with the Adepts. Oracles do respond. They get here just in time. Not bad. Supporting the Adepts, pushing forward, keeping Shin at bay. Lair is almost done. We're almost there. As it is going to be Ling Bane from Shin. Home Creator, he's just building up, saturating his bases. Hydrogen is on the way, as we did mention. This time Shin, he can successfully skip his roaches without any issue. They rotate around. Coming in from behind. Creator, he's well set up. And this is going to be a more old school style here from Creator. He is not backing this up with Storm. He's going to be going into a second Robo, into a Bay, into Colossus production. We saw something similar here out of game number 1, if you recall, on Frostline. And I say this is more old school just because in recent months, it has been much more trendy to go into Storm instead, just because of the change to the energy overcharge. So High Templar and Storm-based play have been a lot more versatile as of late. Less so Colossus. But again, they have their strengths. Oh. Stasis across the map. No major connections. Shin, he does respond in time. And we see Creator going for both. Okay, what again, all of us? Why not both? Colossus and Disruptor. Building up both. Ooh, as we do see a Creator pulling back, we do see Shin applying pressure to the fourth base. And behind this pressure, what do we see? Spire. Spire next to the Hydra Den. Bold move here. Bold move by Shin. Stasis goes off. Massive connection. Stasis will shut down the Lings. Oracle's race back home. Hydra's trying to force a cancel on the expansion. They're trying to force that cancel. Base taking a lot of hits. First Oracle goes down. There are so many Stalkers though. And Creator, he will hold. Stasis is about to run out. Oh. Forcing back those Lings. But it's all about buying time. Oh my god. It's all about buying time. 9 probes did fall. It's all about keeping Creator busy while we get into mute attack. Creator's going to lick his wounds, waiting for his Colossus. Still 2 more on the way. 2 more Colossi in production. Now, based on the investment into these upgrades, plus on range, Hydra speed, Hydra range as well, Lurker Den, this should only be enough mutas to harass. This should not be mass muta from Shin. There's 6 mutas on the way. That is enough to one-shot a probe. So this is only to harass and only to try to force an overreaction by Creator. What I will say, because of the investment into these mutas, this will delay Lurker tech. It delays the infestation, it delays Hive tech. It does mean that the ground army is going to be that much weaker, at least momentarily. So I would say that Shin is vulnerable to a counterattack. We can see the Creator, he's keeping his army at home, only moving out with Stalkers. Nation into the main, doesn't get the full scout. Mutas, they're spotted. There we go. Whew. Mutas are spotted just in time. There's the recall. Big response here by Creator. Does keep up. Beast production has begun. Whew. And the Mutas, they do not get in. Was close. They don't get in. But again, this is all about buying time. Buying time for not just Lurkers, but for Hive tech and Lurker upgrades. So she needs buying time. Building up more Lurkers. As the Lurker tech builds up, that's where something like Skytoss is more viable and more necessary. Oh. As mutas are getting low and they should be going down. And we have the Phoenixes. Oof. Mutas, they got 5 probe kills for the cost of almost 6 mutas. So they 5 probes for 4 mutas, as 2 do survive. Behind this, Storm is finishing, and how many Lurkers do we have? It's going to be 10, sorry, it's soon to be 14. 14 Lurkers. We have a line of Spine Coolers as well. Oh my god. Colossus have arrived. Lurkers are spotted, and Creator has to make a choice. Does he see these Lurkers, and does he believe he can break through, or does he take it to Skytoss? Oh, here come the Novas. So far, good connection. Gets 2. 2 Lurkers go down to 12. Yeah, strong start here for Creator. Yeah, bullies the Lings, takes down one of the Lurkers. Remember, Lurker range is not done. Remember, the Hive was delayed. So the Colossus, they can reign supreme. Well, they can just bully the Lurkers. And Shinny's up against the wall. He's in trouble here. Leading out a lot of units. A lot of Lurkers. We have 3 more on the way. Lurker range finishing up in 10 seconds. The Spine Coolers are helping. Oh, and Lurker range is done. Range has completed. Adaptive Talents now on the way. And still no Skytoss. Like, now there's a bit of a lull in the fight. We can start to take up. Creator, he has somewhat of a bank, but choosing not to. He's confident back. Or unwilling to play Skytoss. One or the other. Oh, takes down 1. Takes down 1 more Lurker. We have 15 left. Remember, Lurkers have been slowly building up. Oh my god. Yeah, Spine Shells, they punish the Stalkers. And Shin goes for a massive counterattack. He leaves the Lurkers to defend. He attacks with the Lings, with the Hydra, with a handful of Lurkers as well. And does he force a recall? Recall is available. Creator pushes in. He commits. Dives into the Lurker line. And he can break through, but at a cost. Yeah, Stalkers are going down. Immortals as well. It's a rough fight here for Creator. He will break through the defensive line. Just barely. But he plummets in supply. And no detection. Okay, do you have detection? Do you have the Observer? At the same time, though, Army's switching into the main. We're going for the base trade. And again, Creator, he made a choice. He could have recalled. He chose not to. Chose not to recall. Chose to commit. Takes down the Lurkers. Down to down to 2 Colossus. Barely standing. And the main base is on fire. The main base is going down. And I don't think Creator has enough. He's going to try to keep going. He's going to keep pushing in. I mean, he will break into the main. That is true. There's still so many more Lurkers. Gonna chase Shin down. Trying to. We have more Spine Crawlers getting in position. Zelsa getting there just in time. He wants those Lunkers. He wants them. Oh my god. He will get them. Bit of friendly fire. Regardless, the expansion is going to go down. Shin, he keeps going. Running into cannons. But Shin still has a massive army. He still has how many? 8 more Lurkers and 4 more on the way in the main. Running some more cannons though. This can add up. The damage, I mean. Taking down more bases. Catching reinforcements. But the line of cannons here is going to be falling. And Creator, he might run out of buildings here. He has to be careful. Uh-oh. Creator, he's down to a handful of birds remaining. Lurker on the high ground. Oh, the Colossus! Oh my god, taking a lot of damage. Forcing his way through. Probes down to 0. 0 probes, 0 workers left. It's the final buildings! Yeah, we have a Nexus here bottom right, and buildings here in the main. Creator, he's running out of buildings. He cannot build anything else. What you see is what you get. Nexus is gonna fall. And we're down to 2 pylons and a gateway. That's all there is left. And that's gonna be game. That's gonna be game here. Again, Creator, he had an opportunity, but GG gets called. He has nothing left, and Shin will take the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here as Shin will take the series 2-1, will take down Creator. Unfortunately, that does conclude that Creator, he's going to be at the bottom of the standings, but he played well here. He did play well here tonight, did force the ace match, and even here in that 3rd game, there were opportunities for Creator. We spoke about it at the time, but he had a choice to make. He did have time to think about whether or not he wanted to take another base and transition into Skytos. He made the decision not to. Likewise, when we had the big counterattack, he also made the decision to commit to the base trade instead of recalling back home. And it was a rough call to make. We saw that even though he did break through that lurker line, he lost half his army. He lost half his army trying to break through that line of Lurkers. He did break it in the end, but it wasn't quite worth it. He lost too much momentum, lost too much of his army, and with that, he was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. Just could not quite compete in the base trade with Shin. And with that, Shin does claim his first series of the group. GG. We go. Shin, he will take it, and that leads us into our next series of the night, into our next ZvT. It's going to be a turn versus Rogue matchup between Byun and Shin. Let's go.